So hello everyone and welcome back to another video of some F1 2020 gameplay, and of course the very first episode of career mode in the Alpha Tauri car, as of course voted by you in an earlier poll many years ago. Just a few notice that the My Team mod, well, it's not a mod anymore, but the My Team career mode is being brought forwards, so there will be some straw polls in the comments below. It will probably be coming out still around the same time, end of July, early August, but let's for now get into this Alpha Tauri career mode and start our career upwards, potentially to Red Bull. We'll have to wait and see.
Welcome to the beginning of your Formula One journey. Before competing at the top level, many drivers will race in Formula 2. From this screen, you can choose from multiple Formula 2 experiences. The first offers a selection of short scenarios. The short season consists of a shortened Formula 2 calendar with one race per weekend. The full season contains every round, with a feature and sprint race in each. And finally, you have the option to jump directly into Formula 1.
So we're going to move straight into Formula 1. I don't really see any benefit of doing some F2 stuff. Especially the fact that Lucas Faber, Devin Butler aren't in the game anymore. We're going to go with Alpha Tauri as voted for by you, and Pierre Gasly will be my teammate. So it's been a while. Apologies, by the way, for the mouse being on screen. I've been having a few issues with my recording software. I might need to change it. If anybody else if you've got any suggestions for great recording editing software that is simple and easy to use, then yes, I might need to look at that going forwards. But nevertheless, we are going to move to the home of Alpha Tauri here in Faenza in Italy. So obviously we've got the messaging. So again, a lot of this stuff has been copied and pasted from My Team, and then obviously just rebranded, obviously with the Alpha Tauri logo as opposed to the My Team. But obviously these facilities, I couldn't work out if I'm supposed to be editing these or not, but obviously they provide, I think the Plus is providing the weekly resource points, but at the same time we'll have to look at that. Obviously R&D is going to be a huge problem. Durability, of course, is something that is an unknown, how much that's going to affect us, whether or not we're going to, if we've got very poor durability, it's going to be sat at the back burner for this 16 race season at least, whether or not we take a look at season 2, or if there is actually regulation change as well, because of course that is still in the game supposedly. But yes, and of course we've got driver perks. Now, I don't know how we can upgrade Gasly's.
You secured on perks. Each of these perks benefit both you and your current team. They stay with you, so they'll make you a more attractive prospect in future negotiations.
But for us, obviously we've got a perk fund. A perk fund is at the moment at $300,000, and ultimately it's basically going to give us more driver acclaim. Now I'm currently going to go for this moment in time to development feedback, because we're not really looking at, we don't really need to get a social media team, nor do we really need media coaching at this present moment in time. But we could do with some more R&D points to upgrade the car and get us further up the grid. So that's what we're going to do. Obviously we'll need more driver acclaim to upgrade, and need more funds to upgrade the others. I don't know if Gasly's can be upgrading his driver perks. I'm not going to be upgrading them for him, so he's going to have to do that himself, basically. As we look to the standings, there isn't anything, and we've got rivalries as well, of course, as there, but we're yet to be able to choose our rival for F1 2020. And of course we've got the R&D tree. We have got 1,750 resource points to spend, so we're going to start straight away. The Sashi and the Aero side both have majors, so we need to get them out of the way as quickly as possible, and then we can start tackling the minor upgrades that are behind that wall. And the same really is with the engine, although the engine's got a minor to begin with, so we'll develop that, and that will take us through the actual fact the minor engine upgrade will be in before the Australian Grand Prix, and I believe that Sashi upgrade will be coming in for the next race, so we'll check back here for round 2 tomorrow. But let's go to the car reveal. Of course you might have seen there's some other My Team gameplay, but here is the new Alpha Tauri with a lot less effects, because of course Alpha Tauri tried to introduce their car this year with a fashion show. This just literally some lights going around the room. And of course, well, it wouldn't be an F1 game without some ridiculous expectations, and the fans tossed there saying that we need to be able to challenge really for positions throughout the midfield, and then try and push to get in the top. I don't think the car's quite there, but nevertheless it's time to go to Melbourne for the Australian Grand Prix, and here we are in the workstation, and this has absolutely had no investment whatsoever. JD's still here. I mean, he was pretty sure he was at Toro Rosso last year, so glad to see that they've kept TRO Limasis there on. But yes, I'd love to have seen the hospitality suite come back, but maybe in future generations with the new generation of console we're going to see there. But obviously we've got this more blocky content. I'm not really happy with the fact that it's a little bit too dull with that screen. And obviously we've got Carl moaning us about practice. Nevertheless, it's time for a little interview with Will Buxton.
Great, you're done with the technician's briefing. Look, I know we've got a lot to get through in FP1, but Will Buxton's been pushing for a quick interview before you head out on track. Don't worry too much, he's a good lad. He's just over there. These media appearances are important for a few reasons. They'll help build your profile and your brand. Plus, your team will get a real boost to their motivation if they hear you praising them. Will, as promised, sorry to keep you waiting.
Oh, mate, not a problem at all, not a problem.
Look, we've got to be out on track in about 5 minutes for FP1, so we can only spare you a couple of minutes max. Is that going to be enough time?
More than enough, already set up. Cool, let's go. Set. We're used to seeing rookies in Formula One every year, but this season there's a youngster that's arrived with perhaps a little more interest in them than usual. And that's because while they've been successful at every level of their career, from karts all the way through to Formula 2, they've somehow managed to stay pretty much under the radar. They don't have that luxury anymore though. They're in Formula 1. Millions of people around the world watching their every move, both on and off the racetrack. So let's take some time to get to know them a little bit better.
So tell us a little about yourself. What's the thing you're most excited about being here in Formula One?
Yes, definitely the competition. It's the best season in the world.
After your successful junior career, you must have had a lot of interest. What drew you to sign for your current team?
Well, a poll did. I ran it on YouTube. We'll praise the Sashi department, and then that way we can get some less failure chances, and we could do with that.
What would you say is going to be the biggest challenge for you this season?
I think staying ahead of Gasly and then scoring consistent points. I know Alpha Tauri can be there, but getting that consistency right between each, especially that we've only got 16 races, is definitely perfect.
Really appreciate your time, but I know you're very keen to get on. Best of luck out there.
Okay, well, I'm hoping we're going to see Will later, but it's time now for qualifying. And on this year's game, there's no Crofty talk for qualifying. Just this short little intro is all I got. Now, unfortunately, qualifying, well, didn't actually go to plan. This is my first run early in the session. Unfortunately, the AI still like to come out in clogs, in clusters. So we've got Hulkenberg and Ricciardo. I think Ricciardo has somehow managed to get ahead of us. Raikkonen has gone fast. So I think actually Ricciardo's on his outlap, actually, excuse me. But he's going to come here, and obviously he sort of unsets us there, really. And that sort of pushes me wide onto the grass, and that's a rookie error really in Formula 1, and that's us into the wall and that lap over. So obviously we have to wait for right at the end of the session, so we do so. Unfortunately, again, the AI come out again. Fortunately managed to go around the outside of Magnussen. The two Haas and the two Williams coming out at exactly the same time. Don't know why they would do that. Obviously they need to space themselves out, but we've got Grosjean ahead of us. Hopefully you'll be getting the message to get out the way, because I'm on a flying lap here, and this is actually our fastest lap. Thank you very much, Grosjean. Out the way and up in. Well, hopefully we can do this. Now I should point out the time you're comparing against is actually against Grosjean. I don't know what this weird indicator is, why they've done it and not compared to maybe, like, I know, or P15 if you like, in a 3 crack qual, but this is a short qualifying, so I don't know why you're not comparing to whoever's on pole, which I believe might be Max. It's either Verstappen, Leclerc, or Vettel, one of those three. But the times you can the delta time on the left is against Grosjean's time and not against the fastest time. So we're 6/10 up on Grosjean. So the team thought we were going to be 15th, to aim for 15th in qualifying, in the practice programs, excuse me. I think we're actually going to do a little bit better than that. As we come up to the line, we're going to have a slipstream from Giovinazzi. It's a 1:23.7, only 2/10 slower than Carlos Sainz, which isn't bad, and that puts us in the end 10th place on the grid for today's race. And interestingly so, they have fixed the issue in short qualifying. If you remember rightly, we had this issue where they'd only go and set out one lap, the front runners, but Hamilton doing 3 laps, so hopefully that gets fixed across the board and is in Grand Prix mode as well. Time now though for the race, today's Australian Grand Prix.
Months of rumour and speculation all come to an end today as we return to Melbourne for the opening race of what promises to be an enthralling season. Welcome along then to the Australian Grand Prix. The Melbourne circuit is certainly one that needs to be taken seriously. Its combination of slippery surfaces and difficult corners make it a tricky track when it comes to overtakes. Drivers find it hard to pass and will need to take full advantage of those DRS zones if they want to have any hope of breaking through. Here we are then, Formula 1 in 2020. The fight for the World Championship all starts here today. Mercedes on the hunt for a 7th consecutive title. They'll have Ferrari and Red Bull to contend with along the way. Williams struggled to find their feet last year. They'll be hoping for a stronger start this time around. And what I wonder of the Renault-powered cars. Will they be able to step forward? Maybe even onto the podium on a regular basis. Plenty to discuss then with Anthony Davidson. He's out of hibernation too, and alongside me in the commentary box once again.
It's good to be back, Crofty. Let's hope for some good racing today. We can't know at this point how competitive these teams are relative to each other, but hopefully nobody is able to run and hide. We want to see these drivers pushing to the limit all the way to the checkered flag.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Vettel, Valtteri Bottas, and Ricciardo, Sainz, Ocon, Albon, and an Alpha Tauri. Norris, Raikkonen, Pierre Gasly, and Perez, Giovinazzi, Grosjean, Kevin Magnussen, and George Russell. Latifi and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Ironically, no comment from Jeff wishing us good luck on our first race, but race strategy is, of course, a one-stop from soft to mediums today. I wanted to put the fuel fuel. It was a little bit low, but actual fact, well, you'll see later in the race I actually had too much fuel, so that's something to watch out for as we get ready for 5 lights and they're out and away we go. And obviously actually slightly missed the start. We're gonna go, obviously overtake is very overpowered on the start because the AI don't use it off the start, so that's my top tip for everybody if you want to get a good start against the AI. But now of course we're using overtake mode. We've lost position on the start to Lando Norris, who's steaming up the inside. We've got Raikkonen, who's trying to have a look around the outside, but we soon there. We've got warning for collision with Perez. I don't know where Perez was. Actually, so we're on board with the Mexican driver in the racing point. That's not us, that's our teammate Pierre Gasly, who's made up, I think, jumped on the start. So he just literally doesn't, the second part of the braking doesn't do. So that clearly is Perez's fault for me. I tried to get Alex Albon there, but he closed the door rapidly. We've got to watch out, of course, because Raikkonen is going to be rapid. He's got Gasly as well for company, who, of course, all of this is being caused by Carlos Sainz, and even on lap 1, there's sort of a gap already forming between the front runners of Verstappen. None of the top 5 actually changed from their qualifying positions. As we've now got lap 2, we've actually got using overtake mode and rich mix. We can try to get Alex Albon here for the final points paying position. We've got Raikkonen, who's having a look on our left, so we're going to go dive it down on the right hand side, go a bit wide on the curbing. That's going to give us position and allow Raikkonen to get ahead of Albon, so that will really slow the tie drivers' progresses. Of course, this battle, which is all actually for 6th place between the 2 Renaults and the 2 McLarens. Lord Norris there with a great start as we watch Sergio Perez. He's been in the pits already, thanks to his early braking antics, and is now out in last position. As we're watching now, Kimi Raikkonen, and Raikkonen is at the Grand Prix with an engine failure. Well, oh dear, and that's going to bring out the safety car. So, well, we haven't had to wait. How many months was it? It was the ironically, it was the first time I drove the Alpha Tauri mod video, which is November last year. But obviously, everybody and their dog is coming into the pits. So obviously everything's going to be double stacking. Hopefully we don't get blocked or delayed by people coming in the pits. You can see the McLarens there, the Renaults are already blocking people out the way. Obviously the Alpha Racing Point are a little bit delayed, but we're waiting there. We come out now, and somehow up into P6 we got ahead of both the Renaults and both of the McLarens, and here's why. Carlos Sainz can't go anywhere because Esteban Ocon is blocking his way. And if we go down to Renault, here's why. When Ricciardo was done, but fortunately didn't get the green light because Gasly was coming in. Gasly, our teammate, has got us this P6 here, and eventually Ricciardo and I believe Sainz can go, but Norris, as an Ocon lost out, as the safety car has now caught up to Charles Leclerc, who's dominating this Grand Prix. The top 5 still unchanged, really, not a lot going on here, as Lando Norris now is down in P18 in this race. So he's had an absolutely woeful pit stop. I don't think they've got the AI right, personally. Albon's AI and Norris's are a little bit too slow compared to what they are actually in real life. But getting ready underway, we've got lots of rich mix. You can see we've accumulated 0.15, and we're going to have a go at Bottas as well. This could be on for P5. He's looking a little bit slow, maybe asleep in there, or James was probably singing a lullaby or something in that cockpit. But eventually, of course, it's Mercedes against an Alpha Tauri. It's only a matter of time before he sprints away. As we watch just there, Romain Grosjean is holding everybody up, which is our advantage to get away. We're faster than the Haas car, as Alex Albon has actually been held up big time in the pit stop and fell behind Nicholas Latifi, who has just got past there. And Ricciardo now is starting to make moves. He's getting ahead of Grosjean. I think Grosjean is going to be the sitting duck. Haas really aren't having a great time. And you see a couple of laps later, our teammate now is getting passes. Carlos Sainz is being boxed in. This is Lance Stroll, whose IA is actually improved from, I feel, from F1 2019, not circulating around in last place all the time. As now Ricciardo, who has got rid of Grosjean, has caught up to Giovinazzi, and this is the problem. Because I'm only a few seconds up the road from Giovinazzi, but Ricciardo, the Ferrari engine is so OP on this game that Ricciardo, it took him multiple laps, and only on the last lap, lap 15, did he actually chose to actually make the overtake on Giovinazzi. And unfortunately for the team, Carlos Sainz also chose this moment to get past Pierre Gasly as well. But Gasly will still get points. But for us, it was a very lonely second half of the race. You can see that the crew ahead have already sprinted ahead. It's about 9.5-10 seconds up the road. But I'm not really caring about that, because it's a fantastic 6th place on our debut in Australia. And the enthusiasm from Jeff there is about nothing. And despite the fact we managed to get 6th on our debut, driver of the day has to go to Lance Stroll. So yeah, 6th place. I'll definitely take those points as well, because it's going to give us points. Gasly got a point as well, so that's definitely going to help us in the constructors battle over the likes of Haas, maybe. I want to say Racing Point as a stretch, but obviously we've got that upgrade coming where they make it to the real life what actually is on the performance of round 1. And Magnussen and Perez there getting a 5-second penalty applied as well. Not really doing much as well, but for a severe collision with each other. Now, I've checked the footage. The only collision they had was this. This is under the safety car. Perez obviously had that early pit stop. That's literally all they managed to collide with. There was no other collisions on the lap specified. So yes, that's not a 5-second
perspective. Let's have yours.
I thought you weren't in this game anymore.
You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you?
Well, obviously, I mean, Gasly blocked the pit lane. Did you do no? Oh. I'm sorry. We'll ask some good questions, and then we got Claire answering the ridiculous ones again.
You're breaking all expectations. What's your?
We've had one race, Claire. One race. Maybe after 5 races, then yes. Maybe we will.
It wasn't the cleanest race today, was it?
Well, I'm not going to answer that, are you? Am I? It was Perez barrel rolling in it.
Times were you struggling for grip?
I didn't scrape the wall at all, Claire. I don't know what you're on about.
Thank you for your time.
So our driver claim is already up to level 2, which is good. So, obviously be able to unlock some more things. And obviously we're going to need those things if we want to progress to Red Bull. But we've already got enough of resource points for another R&D upgrade. So we're going to purchase, I was thinking about one of these major Aeroforce, and I had to think about this, and I decided to go with the front one. Now obviously we can choose to rush developments in this one. Now we're going to see what's going to happen with this, because what we're going to do is we're going to rush. Obviously we're going to rush the durability upgrade on the gearbox. So yes, we're going to rush that. We're going to see if it actually works. It costs exactly the same to rush. I think that they should actually cost a little bit more to rush, because obviously if you're rushing it, somebody's going to have to work some overtime. So, but nevertheless, I mean, it's the only other department we got there, and we got those resource points. We will probably take a look at some upgrading some more. I think apart from the air upgrade, will be available for the Vietnamese Grand Prix, which will be coming out. I'm recording that tomorrow and hopefully be out tomorrow as well. But yes, I'm going to leave it there. If you've enjoyed this video, then let me know in the comment. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new to see more episodes of the Alpha Tauri career as and when they come out. Until the next video, next time, take care. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your day and goodbye.